Hiya everyone, welcome back to the Gosforth Handyman Tips Library. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend so far. Before I start on today's tip, and if you couldn't make it to Make a Central, you are probably by now sick of people raving on about Make a Central. So I'll put a little thing below so you can skip forwards if you're just sick to the back teeth of hearing about it. Everyone who went will be raving on about this for quite a long time because it was a very, very special day. And I just really want to give a bit of a thank you to everyone who I managed to meet. It was such a humbling experience. It was a genuine pleasure meeting each and every one of you. Honestly, I can't explain it. I got there, I think about 11:15 or something. I ended up just catching the back end of Jimmy Drester's talk that he was doing, and then from I literally just arrived with Glenn, who I need to give a shout out to Glenn as well, my good buddy Glenn, who ended up just taking on the role of official photographer for the day and taking some awesome pictures which I've shoved onto my blog. So if you were there and we met up and we took a picture of you, they're over there, you can see them. I'll put a link in the description. You can see all the pictures from the day. If we didn't manage to get a picture of you and you've got one and you want us to upload it to the blog, feel free to send it over. There's contact details on my website on gosforthhandyman.com and you will find all that information over on there. But yeah, just thanks so much, Glenn. You were awesome. I didn't really expect the day to go the way it went, from arriving till at as I say 11ish till about 3:30 in the afternoon. We didn't stop meeting just amazing people. Didn't really get a chance to see much of Make a Central because we just spent the whole day just chatting to you guys, and it was just such a beautiful, humbling, lovely experience. You're all amazing. Roll on next year. And the most ridiculous thing, me and Glenn left the hotel after a night. We'd been on the road from 6:30 in the morning or whatever through till 3:00 in the morning by the time we finished. So it was like a 21-hour day basically. I was wrecked by the end of it. And the one thing I forgot to do at Make a Central, I just didn't get a chance. I've got my sticker door over there. Other than stickers that people physically put in my hand, I didn't get any stickers. How stupid was that? I could have stocked up on all of your stickers that were left lying around the YouTube area and stuff, and I completely forgot. I'm absolutely hopeless. Touch base on Instagram if you want to do the sticker swap thing. I am running low on stickers, so I will pre-warn. But if you want to send me your sticker to put on the door, by all means, please do that. And sadly, of course, my podcast co-host, Peter, couldn't make it to Make a Central. He had a prior engagement, but make sure you're following Peter if you're not already. He's nearly at the 20,000 subscriber mark. He's so close. So if you're not already following Peter Millard, give him a follow as well. There's so many other people that I want to tell you to follow, but it would end up being a video of me just saying, follow this person, follow this person, follow this person. So I can't mention everyone, but honestly, amazing time. You're all beautiful people. So the stuff that's been going on, I've got a problem with my arm at the minute, and it's suspected tendonitis. I can't put any pressure behind a drill. If I'm drilling something, the action of operating the trigger and pushing forward, I've just got shooting pains at my arm at the minute. And I've been to the doctors and they said you just need to rest it and it'll get better. But at the minute I've got projects I need to get finished. I can't really stop, but after that I'm going to have a bit of a break. But it turns out and originally the doctor was saying it's probably from too much drilling and hammer drills and vibration down your arm and all that sort of thing. But it's looking more and more likely that it's nothing to do with the woodwork and it's actually from using a computer. And it's looking like it's some sort of RSI from too much using a mouse. And, if I'm doing video editing and stuff, I'm probably editing for maybe 4 hours straight without a break. And then I'll have a cup of coffee and then I'll come back to it. When you get into it, I'm just ploughing through the editing and not stopping, especially for doing the podcasts and all that. You get into this zone of editing, your mouse is just like... So all I'm saying is watch yourselves. If you're into making videos and doing lots of computer stuff, be careful, because I've now bought this special mouse where it like puts your wrist at a sideways angle, and it's much more comfortable. But I've still got shooting pains up my right arm at the minute, and I've had it for about 6 weeks now, and there's no sign of it getting better, which is a little bit annoying. Any good tips for RSI or whatever it is that's going on? Pop them in the comments. I'm miles behind on replying to YouTube comments as well. I am so sorry. Since Maker Central and everything else, I just haven't had time. It's maybe getting to that point where I just can't reply to every single comment on there. I am trying, but I'm losing myself. I do still try and touch base with all of you who send me messages on Instagram and Twitter as well. If you're not following me on Twitter, I am resurrecting my Twitter account, Gosforth Andy on Twitter. So follow us on Twitter. If I can build up like a reasonable following on Twitter, then I'll post more to it at the minute. But at the minute, I've only got like 70 followers on Twitter because I just don't use it. Anyway, today's tip is all about lumber storage in a small workshop. And I've tried loads of different techniques and methods for storing lumber, and I just want to take you through what I've ended up using. And my tip really is to make use of twin slot shelving. I've tried all sorts of different things, but this stuff is by far the best stuff I've found for lumber storage in a small workshop. It's dead cheap. It's incredibly heavy duty. I reckon if I attach that to the wall and have one of them in there, I reckon I could probably hang my full 80 kilo weight off that, no bother. I haven't tested it. Don't hold us to that. The big advantage of them as well is that all of the force is really the vast majority of the force is a shear force down the wall, because your screws are obviously going in through the bracket, and you've got like, on one bracket, 1, 2, 3, 4, you've got 6 mounting points. If you want to use that many, you don't have to use that many. And because they're not inclined to try and pull forward, so you're not getting much of an axial force pulling out of the wall. Nearly everything is a shear force pulling downwards. I mean, obviously you're going to get a certain inclination for stuff towards the top, so make sure your top fixings are the strongest. But honestly, they support an amazing weight, and the great thing about them is that they're so flexible in terms of just being able to swap stuff around. You might find that you need bigger brackets. These come in all sorts of different sizes. They also seem to be cross-compatible between brands as well. Don't hold us to that, but for example, I've got a link on my website and I'll put a link in the description to some, I think, made by Watson something or other. These ones are made by Element 32. These ones are made by RB UK, and they all seem to be cross-compatible, which is nice. I would suggest you get brackets made by the company who make the rails, but they do seem to be cross-compatible. They come in a massive range of sizes. You can cut them down to whatever size you want. Common lengths are about 1 meter lengths and 1.4 meter lengths, but you can get them right up to, I think, 2.4 meter lengths of these. And then these come in a whole range of sizes. The actual bracket, twin slot brackets, come in a range of sizes as well. Common sizes are 220 mil. I haven't got any 220 mil, but 220, 270. These are 270, and 320. These are the 320 ones. 370 you can get as well. And as I say, I've got them for all of my wall-based lumber storage. I'm also using them for a lot of my shelving in the workshop as well, because you can just cut like a little strip of this, attach it onto the wall, and you've instantly got, instead of your normal L brackets, which once they're attached to the wall, that's it. But if you just instead go for one of these, and you might only cut like a 1 foot strip or whatever, but then you've got adjustability, and then you can say, oh, well, I want it there, or you want it there, or you could even say, well, I want 2 of them on that bit. So it just gives you a lot of extra flexibility going for this sort of route. So if you're not bothered about what your shelf brackets are going to look like, it's, as I say, it's more of a utilitarian, so, you know, utility rooms, garages, all that sort of thing, studies, but they're just really heavy duty. You can use pretty much any wood on top once you've got the shelving on, if you want to actually make it into a shelf. And the other thing that you can do as well, another little thing, is that you can use it as hooks. So you might have another section of your wall where, you know, you've got the rails up, but you've got a gap. And you might want to just put stuff, you know, hook anything onto that. Hook dust hoses on, tools, clamp storage you could even do on them. There's so many things. As I say, I've popped some links in the description to a few different models of these, or a few different sizes, but there's loads of different options, different finishes, different colours. You can even get like chrome plated ones and fancy looking ones and all sorts. Dead easy to put up. Cheap as chips. You're looking a couple of quid for the bracket, a couple of quid for the rail. I tend to buy them in boxes of like 10 or 20 of the brackets in one go because I get through quite a lot of these. I've got these shelves behind us. Can you see these shelves? These ones are on little rails. I've got all my lumber storage on that side of the workshop on them, just randomly arranged. All the lumber storage at the end, kind of the garage door side of my workshop, is all on those, again, randomly arranged, different sizes. I've got shelving up there on them. One other thing when it comes to actual lumber storage, which I was going to mention, in my shop, I've tried to be organised with like, oh, I'll have all my MDF over here, or I'll have all of my plywood strips up there. I'll have reclaimed wood over there and blah, blah, blah. And I've tried to be organised. And if there's one thing I've found is that it doesn't matter where you put stuff, there will always be something else in the road. So I'm finding a random storage method. You know, it's slightly organised. So stuff over there is mostly MDF. But then I've got bits of ply intermingled with it. I've got like more ply up the top, but there's bits of MDF mingled with it. There's bits of reclaimed wood on top of the ply. There's hardwoods mixed in with it. I'm just finding that stuff is never in the right place and you never know what you're going to need unless you've got a massive workshop and loads of space where you can genuinely say, that area's for pine, that area's for oak, that area's for... I don't have the space to do that, unfortunately. For me, stuff is random. Pretty much random, and it works really well. Put it this way, by having stuff neat and organised and having like stuff categorised in different places, I still have to move the wood around just as much as when I've got it randomly arranged. Does that make sense? Just don't stress about it. It's not worth worrying about categorising your wood into different areas. But do whatever works for you. Thank you once again for watching. Thanks to everyone again who came out to Mater Central. Amazing, amazing time. I'll see you again there next year if it's on. Have an amazing weekend and I shall see you next time. Bye!